Hello and welcome back to Beckler Guitars and Repairs. Today we're checking out the first 12 string we've ever had on the channel. So let's check it out. Alright, well, before we get started, first and foremost, we are joined in the shop today by Potato. Potato, good to see you. Potato's our shop dog here. Okay, so moving on to the guitar. So, I picked this up a while back, I just haven't got to it yet, but it's a pretty nice example. So here we have Yamaki AY472S 12 string. It's a 1975. And this guitar is in insanely good condition, especially considering the age. It's coming up on 50 years now. And this one is a cedar top with a rosewood fingerboard and an ebony bridge with a bone nut and bone saddle. It's got multi-ply binding, the fingerboard is bound, and the coolest part about this guitar though is the gorgeous Brazilian rosewood on the back and sides. So yeah, some of these 60s, 70s guitars, Japanese ones especially, are made with Brazilian rosewood, and that's just not something you see these days. It's considered a very rare wood these days, and you almost pay a crazy premium for it. Like when Gibson puts Brazilian rosewood on their fingerboards for any one of their special editions, they charge insane money, and you just can't really get it on guitars anymore. But it's gorgeous. Yeah, there's a look at the sides. So yeah, Brazilian rosewood is a lot like normal rosewood, just it has darker streaks, that darker wood grain, and it has a little bit of red in there as well, and just a wide grain pattern. Oh yeah, it's very, very good looking wood, and it's got some nice sonic properties to it as well. So it's really hard to find an old 12 string that's still in good shape. They typically just fall apart after a certain amount of time, mostly due to the amount of tension that's on these things. Like with the 12 strings, you're getting a crazy amount of tension on that top and on that bridge, and a lot of them just don't last. The bridges come up, or the bodies warp, or bellying occurs. That's when the pull up of the bridge, like if the bridge won't pull up, then it actually will pull up the top of the body, and you get kind of a hump if you look at it straight on. That's called bellying, and that happens very often to 12 string acoustics. However, Yamakis are kind of known as standing the test of time for being a 12 string. Like a lot of the older 12 string Yamakis are in good shape, and no bellying has occurred, and they haven't fallen apart. So that's just kind of a testament to the build quality for Yamakis. I swear by these guitars. I've had a couple, and they've all sounded fantastic, and they've all had very nice build quality. And yeah, so we can see right there there's no pull up on the body. It's like new. and the bridge has never been repaired or pulled up, and the top is just hasn't been affected at all. So for, I mean, a 50-year-old guitar with that much tension on it, that's crazy. So Yamakis are becoming a little bit more well-known, and prices are going up, and they're becoming a little bit more sought after because people are realizing that they're really fantastic guitars. And these 12 strings, I have never met or never used an old example of a 12 string that beat a Yamaki. They're just great. So anyway, let's go ahead and put it on the bench and get a look of all the specs, and take the endoscope to the inside and see how it's made, and then we'll do a restring and a setup on it, and then we'll hear how it sounds. Alright, it's weighing in at 4 pounds, 11.6 ounces. Alright, here's the neck profile. So yeah, it's kind of like an older Martin, a little bit of a soft V. So it's kind of like a C, but a little bit sharper at the top point there. And it flattens out a little bit by the 12th fret here. So yeah, somewhere between like a soft V, C kind of territory. And the neck, yeah, it feels, just on feel, feels quite chunky and wide. But let's get the dimensions. So width of the nut is 1.90, and width at the 12th is 2.253. First fret neck depth is 0.9235, and we'll take it at the 11th fret because the 12th is turning into the heel. It's 1.067. I just want to show the condition of the frets and the fingerboard. So yeah, this guitar is in crazy nice shape. It appears to like has barely ever been played or used. I mean, it looks like a brand new guitar, but it's from 1975, so it's pretty wild. But the fingerboard appears to be Brazilian rosewood as well. It's got that nice red and streakiness to it. And the frets are a little oxidized over the years, but there's no play wear at all, so there's no divots or anything. So the frets are like 100%. I'm going to throw them on the buffer, give them a quick shine, and that's about it. But yeah, very nice guitar, and yeah, immaculate condition. Doesn't have any marks or dings on it anywhere either, so someone took really good care of this thing. Alright, I'm going to buff the frets, and then we'll get the endoscope out and see what it looks like on the inside. Okay, here we are going in with the endoscope. So there we can see our Made in Japan Yamaki badge on the back brace, or tone bar rather. And there's the model, the AY472S with the model and the serial number 141120. And we can see the construction on the back. There's our heel. And you can see all the wood is solid wood. You see that nice streaky Brazilian rosewood all the way throughout. So that's solid back and sides Brazilian rosewood, which is really nice. And everything inside looks really clean. And you can see all the bracing. I'm not sure what that pink is on those braces, but it's on the other side too if I remember correctly. It just might be how they mark them so they know where they go from the factory, like what positions. And yeah. Yeah, everything looks really well put together. There's no lot of squeeze out or glue residue anywhere. And yeah, no cracks or issues anywhere. This guitar is in like new condition. It's pretty crazy. Usually when you see a guitar this old, they just don't look like this, so it's kind of a anomaly. But yeah, everything looks great. I just want to take a minute to point out that I'm using the 12-string sweetener on my Strobo Plus HD, which is a 12-string mode, which is, yeah, it's good. It works really well. Okay, here it is, all done. It takes forever to restring and tune a 12-string, as you can tell in the time lapse. And everything's looking good. I did notice, however, the action is just a little bit high for my taste. So let me just see if we can focus there. There we go, yeah. So it's a little high, not by much, mind you, but a little bit. But luckily, we've got lots of real estate on the saddle. So what I mean by that is the saddle has enough material to be lowered. So what I'm going to do is loosen off the strings, take the saddle out, and then mark it with a set of digital calipers where I want, how much material I want to take off, just so I don't take off too much. And then I'm going to take it to my belt sander and just grind that down. I'm going to mark it how far I want to go. So I'm going to grind it down by that much, straight and level on the belt sander, and then I'm going to stop right when I hit that mark, and then I'll put the nut back in, and we should have lower action right where it should be. I did check the truss rod too, and there's very little relief in the neck, so we're trying to get that as flat as possible for good action down here. And after that we'll do a fret check, and then we can see how it sounds. Alright, here's a look at the bone saddle now that I've taken it down a little bit. And a quick tip for identifying what material your saddle's made of. If it starts to smell like burnt hair when you're taking material off, you know that's bone. So bone smells terrible when you burn it or sand it, so yeah, that's one way to check to see if it's bone. It'll smell like burnt hair once you put it on like a belt sander or something like that. So yeah, just a tip. Okay, so here it is with a new nut on it. Action's nice and low. It's about 2 millimeters at the 12th and about 1.5 at the high E. And then the action here at the nut is nice and low too, just resting against the first fret when you fret the third. So yeah, nice setup for a 12 string. And here's a look at the top again. Absolutely no bellying at all, which is crazy for a guitar this old. That's a 12 string. And I'm going to go ahead and play it a little bit and we can hear how it sounds here. So... So yeah, sounds great. Alright, I'm just going to do some strumming, some chords. Alright, so now that we've went over and taken apart and restrung and set up this Yamaki AY472S 1975, what do I think? This is the best 12 string I've ever played. It's amazing. It sounds great. It's in immaculate condition. It looks brand new. It's from 1975. The frets have like no wear whatsoever. There's no scratches. There's no dings. It's a time capsule, a closet queen. It's a great guitar, and it sounds really nice. Comes with the original case. The case is also in really good condition, and yeah, the Brazilian rosewood is just gorgeous. Very nice guitar. Alright, well, that'll do it for today with Beckler Guitars and Repairs. Thanks for tuning in, and we're going to have more for you really soon. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.